Welcome back to Travel from the Kitchen Counter with SLA Travel. I am your host, friendly travel advisor, and your resident recipe follower, Emily White. And today on the menu, we have the classic meatloaf. We will be following Sunny Anderson's tricolor meatloaf and classic meatloaf. Now, this comfort dish originated right here in the US of A, and sources say that the first recipe arrived in the late 1800s in the historically rich city of Boston. Now, Boston is known for its sites like Freedom Trail, Fenway Park, Beacon Hill, Harvard Square, Boston Harbor Walk and Cruises. You can see the long stretches of white beaches of Cape Cod. You can also go see the tulips in bloom at the Boston Parkway Gardens. And the cruises sail out of the Boston Port of Call's Black Falcon, and they have cruise ships such as Carnival, Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, Princess, Crystal, Viking, and Celebrity, just to name a few. Luxury hotels to mention are the Fairmount Copley Plaza, the luxury boutique Lenox Hotel. Then you have the mid-range hotels, Boston Marriott and Long Wharf, which overlooks the Boston Harbor and is close to the New England Aquarium and other attractions. There are also other hotels such as Hyatt Regency Boston, Hilton Boston Downtown, Doubletree by the Hilton, the Boston Park Plaza, the Liberty Marriott, W Boston, the Revolution Hotel, and Moxie Boston Downtown. Now, about this meatloaf. If you take a look at Miss Anderson's recipe, she says to preheat that oven 375 degrees. So go ahead and preheat your oven. My oven is already preheated. Now, the thing that I like about meatloaf, it's one of those dishes that you kind of just dump everything in the bowl, mix it around, make a pretty loaf, and dress it with something on the top, and you stick it in the oven for an hour. So that's exactly what I'm doing. What I did, though, is mix ground beef and ground turkey, 1 pound each, right here in the bowl. I got a big family. We have a family of 6, and so I needed to do 2 pounds of meat, and so I adapted her recipe for 2 pounds of meat. So what I'm going to do is dump in 1 large onion, and then I'm going to dump in the tricolor bell peppers. Love bell peppers; they taste so good and make your dish so flavorful. And then I'm going to massage that in. Now, I took Sunny's recipe for her ketchup sauce and added that in. I love it. It tastes so good, so I'm going to add it in as a little bit of sauce in between. Notice I have on my glove because I'm doing everything with my hand. I come from an old-fashioned household where you get in there and you mix it up. Now, I did all the seasonings already and threw it in here and mixed that up, and you'll see the seasonings on the recipe that I share, so you'll know what I did. And that was black pepper, salt, sage, thyme, all in that mixture there. Then I'm going to dump in, it said her recipe calls for 2 cloves of garlic. I did 4 because I did more meat. So I'm going to dump all that in. And my ketchup sauce has sriracha. It has Worcestershire sauce. I can never say that, so I call it Lee and Parents, even though I shouldn't be calling it a brand. It has apple cider vinegar, all mixed into there. This is going to taste yummy. Then, of course, you need your breadcrumbs. So you're going to dump your breadcrumbs in. And it's all in her recipe, how much you're going to put in there. We did that beforehand, so we wouldn't take up all your time. And then your egg mixture, we're gonna dump in that bowl because the egg and the bread keeps the meatloaf all together. So you're just gonna get in there and really mesh it around. Make sure it's spread evenly. Make sure all your seasoning is in there good. Get it in there. Don't be afraid of it. It's not afraid of you. You don't be afraid of it. And like they said in Boston, that this meal was meant to really spread the beef. In the winter time, they would slaughter the beef, and they wanted a way to use the meat, all parts of the meat. So that's how meatloaf came to be. So I got it all out in there. I'm showing you how that looks in there. Everything is mixed in good. And then I will show you how we put it in a bowl shortly. All right, so we took that mixture, we combined all the ingredients, and we grabbed a 13 by 9 baking dish. I use a Pyrex dish, a glass Pyrex dish, and created a loaf form with the meat. Now what I'm gonna do with the remaining ketchup sauce is go ahead and spread it over the top lightly, just like that. You know, just like a little glaze. It is going to form a very dark, rich color. It's going to give it flavor. And I go ahead and let the juices sit inside. Now you are going to bake this, according to Sunny, for an hour on 375 degrees. So I'm going to cover it over with some silver foil, let it go for 30 minutes, then take the silver foil off and let it go for another 30 minutes, and then I'll show you what that looks like when it's done. Well, we're back. I just pulled out the meatloaf out of the oven, and here it is, so beautiful, so nice looking. The layover with the ketchup sauce is evenly coated and just nice. However, there were a few adjustments I had to make. I noticed that because it was turkey and ground beef, there was a lot of liquid buildup after I pulled off the silver foil. And so what I did was use that buildup to create a gravy sauce, and I paired it with broccoli and mashed potatoes. Now, because I'm diabetic, I have to always have a vegetable, and I bought these cute little plates that give me portion size so I can eat just enough. I don't have to change my diet. I just have to eat in portion and make sure I always have a vegetable. So I did a gravy with the broth from the meatloaf. Oh, and did it and put it over my mashed potatoes. Then I have broccoli to couple it with. And then the great thing about this is it's both poultry and beef, so you can drink with any wine if you're a wine drinker, and just enjoy. Came out beautiful. Boston, you provided a recipe that is both great, now comfort food, and I am going to enjoy this tonight. All right, everyone, until next time, thank you for joining us on Travel from the Kitchen Counter with SLA Travel. If you have a recipe you'd like us to try, please send it to this email you see here below. And please do subscribe to our channel. Again, thank you for joining us on Travel from the Kitchen Counter with SLA Travel.